A long time ago in Russia, across misty mountains and rolling seas, there lived a very greedy king. And this king, he had a large apple orchard. And in the middle of this apple orchard, there was the apple of his eye. It was a golden apple tree. One night, to the king's horror, he found that one of his golden apples had been stolen. So he asked Ivan, who was his stable lad, to stay up all night the next night to see who the thief could possibly be. So, when darkness fell, Ivan watched and he waited until about midnight, when he saw in the sky a great red light, and this red light swooped down to the golden tree. When it came into view, Ivan saw the most beautiful, majestic Firebird trying to swipe the apples. Now, clumsily, Ivan fell out of his hiding place and tried to grab the bird, but of course the bird flew off, and Ivan was left with just one red feather. The next morning, he explained exactly what he'd seen to the king, and the king said, well, you must go out and you must find the bird and you must bring it back. So Ivan went out into the forest and he tried to find the bird, but all he had was one red feather. And as he was looking at the red feather, he heard a rustling in the bushes. He looked to the side, and then a great grey wolf came out in front of him and said, well, I will help you to find the bird. You must leave bread in a pasture and the bird will come and feed. So Ivan did exactly what the wolf suggested. He left bread on the floor, and there the wolf and Ivan watched and waited behind a tree. Before long, the Firebird swooped down and started to feed on the bread. This time, Ivan very quietly crept out from the tree, and he seized the bird and put the bird in his backpack and went back to the castle. Then the king was pleased enough, but he said, actually, I want something else. Now you must go over the seas and you must fetch me a princess. Her name is Yelena the Fair, and she shall be my new queen. So Ivan went out again. He took the Firebird feather with him, and on his journey, there again, he met the wolf. And the wolf said, well, I will help you find Yelena the Fair. And they went off together. And this time, Ivan, he rode on the back of the wolf, and the wolf took him straight to the castle of the princess. And there, Yelena the Fair agreed to the marriage and was taken back on the journey over to the king's castle. But on the journey, Yelena and Ivan, well, they found that they both fell in love. And when they explained their predicament to the wolf said, well, worry not. I will put myself in the form of the princess. And Yelena, I shall pretend to be you, and I will wed the king. They both agreed. And the next morning they arrived at the castle, and the wolf, in the guise of the princess, went into the castle. The king was overjoyed when he saw the wolf princess, and he crowned her queen immediately. But when the king went to kiss his new queen, he was not met with the lips of his beautiful wife. He was met with the cold muzzle of a grey wolf, and the shock killed him in his throne there and then. From that moment forward, well, Ivan, he married the princess, and he became king. And what became of that Firebird? Well, it was freed, and never again did it try and steal a golden apple from the orchard. And the wolf lived in the castle with his new friends, the princess and the new king of Russia. I'm Jill Brownson. That was the tale of the Firebird all the way from Russia, and I look forward to seeing you on the next Lockdown Legends.